This video is a part 2 of the following. Part 1 was about the timeline of US presidents in the world of Kaiserreich. In case you haven't seen part 1, the link will be in the description. On the last place you have Richard Russell. Russell was very passive. While others took initiative, he pretty much did nothing and only reopened ties to Germany at the behest of people like Thomas Kuchel, Howard Baker and Harry Byrd. The economy recovered quite slowly, and he dies without doing anything except from continuing the semi-authoritarian regime. Number 13 is Mark SCHWEIKER. SCHWEIKER was in every way possible a traitor to the concept of America, which he sold out to the Kaiser at every possible occasion. His immigration reform made it virtually impossible for anyone non-German or Germanophobic to be elected president, or to immigrate for that matter. Number 12 is Martin HEIRICH. HEIRICH did much of the same as SCHWEIKER, though he did not start it. He simply continued the dissolution of America that SCHWEIKER started, and as the economy was decent, he received less than expected resistance for his reforms. GARNER came in second in the popular vote and fourth in the electoral vote in 1936 and was still the president. The country was in a civil war during his entire term, a war that he, unlike Lincoln, lost. He was also much at fault for its start. WELCH was elected after his much more qualified opponent is portrayed as too friendly to syndicalists. He arranges full-on demonization of all syndicalist citizens and is responsible for McCarthyist polarization and a divided country. He sees some success against syndicalist governments abroad. He has a tough re-election primary against Nixon and ends up losing his bid for a second term. THURMOND, in an act of pure boldness and aggressiveness, he expanded Jim Crow to the entire country. However, he is partly redeemed by the fact that his foreign policy was exceptional. He established the NATO and American hegemony over Latin America. He saved the American Union state from Russell's incompetence. Number 8. Gordon Humphrey. Humphrey brought down the national populist Russian state and the last remaining big syndicalist governments. Poor economic performance still led to his defeat, along with an unwavering stubbornness on most policy. He had bitter fights with Congress and ended up losing his bid for re-election to Pete Wilson. Huey long oversaw the Reconstruction and the brief war with Germany from 1942 to 1945. It did not go too well, as he after that had to resign and give over the mantle of dictatorship to his successor, Charles Lindbergh. On 6th we have Al D'Amato. He tried to save America from the massive onslaught of Germanization, but eventually failed. His attempts give him a respectable number 6 on this list. We are now at the top 5. Charles Lindbergh defined the American Union state as it was known for the second half of the 20th century, as a free market, autocratic, nationalist, Anglo-Saxon empire. His growth and glory benefited white Americans, but disenfranchised blacks, Jews and others. While reinsetting presidential elections and giving Congress some symbolic power, he did little on the foreign front. Reagan took the number 4 spot for peacefully and smoothly ending nationally mandated segregation while defeating syndicalism abroad and giving the German plurality recognition. He was also instrumental in standing strong against aggression from hostile countries. Quentin Roosevelt was the son of Theodore Roosevelt, the first democratically elected president after the Second American Civil War. When elected, the public opinion was that there would never be an AFP president again, and Long's experiment was dead. This would prove not to be the case at recession heat in 1958, flipping Congress and helping elect Russell 2 years later. Still, Roosevelt goes down as one of the single best presidents ever for protecting free countries from syndicalism, overthrowing other syndicalist governments, easing relations with Germany after the war as well as Russia, and presiding over a strong economy during most of his term. LAWTON CHILES made the American Union state a top-tier superpower over the likes of Russia and Japan, and at the same level as Germany. He united the country and introduced economic reforms, as well as presiding over the annexation of Cuba. He was widely regarded as a father of the nation to many. At first place, you have none other than Pete Wilson. He led America to the new millennium. He was the greatest president in this timeline. The Civil Rights Act of 1996 ended segregation at the national level, while the union of European and American defense efforts resulted in NATO. He silently buried the remaining syndicalist powers in the world, while also uniting the country. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please like, please subscribe, and I will see you next time. So long, and have a nice day.